everybody, it's Dr. Joe and Spider Bear. Oh, hi! And today we're going to show you my top 5 gluteus strengthening exercises. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So these gluteus exercises are going to be for both the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius. So we're going to start off with just a simple bridge. Bridging is great kind of for the whole body, but it really works those gluteus maximus muscles, your hamstring muscles, works the hips, the knees, and the back. So with a bridge, you really want to make sure you're using the correct technique. So you're just going to prop your knees up, and as you come up, you kind of want to come one segment at a time. You don't have to stop at each segment of your back, but you want to kind of roll upwards as you come up and just come into a straight line and then roll back down. That's really just going to kind of work everything instead of just coming straight up and down where I'm not really working the muscles as well as if I really control it coming up. Get to about a straight line. It doesn't have to be a complete straight line, but you don't want to arch your back up and then nice and slow rolling it back down. So with bridges, you want to start off with maybe just 10 to 15 until you see how it feels. And then you can do, 2 to 3 sets a couple times throughout the day, really just to get those muscles started and working. So I really like the bridges just to kind of get everything activated and going before you get into some of the harder exercises. So then the next one, we're just going to add on to the bridging, and it's going to be bridging with a resistive band. And so what the resistive band does is then it starts to activate the gluteus medius muscles as well. So you're kind of doing the muscles in combination. And a lot of times if you have an injury or if you've had a surgery, the muscles aren't working together anymore. Sometimes some just shut off. So by adding the band to get the resistance going out, I'm working the outside and the glutes as well. So put the band just above your knees around your thighs and still keep your knees about hip width apart. The goal is to keep the same distance apart the whole time when you come up into the bridge. A lot of times if there's some weakness when you come up, your knees are going to come together. But you really want to try and keep them the same distance apart the whole time. So when I'm coming up into that bridge, my knees aren't moving towards each other because that band's trying to pull it together. So I have to activate my gluteus medius as well as my gluteus maximus muscles. And then same thing, just starting off with maybe 10 to 15, see how it feels, and then do 2 to 3 sets of those 2 to 3 times a day. So really just trying to get those muscles now starting to work together. So now we're going to do some standing exercises. So the next one is going to be a step down exercise. So this is a pretty high step. I would start off with something much smaller if you haven't done step downs before, because this really works the glute muscles, the quads, the hamstrings, everything around the knees and the hips. So maybe starting off with a 2 or 3 inch or just a step at home, or maybe even a step coming into your house. But if you haven't done this before, make sure you're holding onto a rail the first couple of times you do it, because it is a little harder than it looks. So with the step down, I'm not really going to step all the way down just because my step is a lot higher than what I would normally do. But what you're going to do is you're going to put your leg out in front of you so you can kind of do a step down motion. But the key is to not drop your hips. So I'm not stepping down like that. See, that throws me off balance too. I'm trying to keep my hips fairly level, and I'm trying not to put my whole body forward. So I'm really using those glute muscles to kind of go back, stick my booty back, and do a step down motion. So I'm really trying to keep everything pretty level. Again, so I'm not reaching for it, because then I'm not working the muscles I want to. I'm really just stepping down and then coming back up. So again, if you haven't done these before, you might really just want to do 3 to 5 and then just kind of see how you feel afterwards. If you need to reset every time, you can. If you feel pretty good and you just want to keep going continuously like that, it'll make you work a little bit harder. So the next exercise is going to be a sidestepping squats with a band. So while I put on my band, I want to thank some people on my wall of thanks. So Brad H, Steve A, Scott R, and Maria B, thank you so much for being on my wall of thanks. If you are interested in being on my wall of thanks, make sure you click on the link in the description below. So again, I'm bringing up the band just above my knees. So this is going to be kind of a sidestepping squat. I don't have a lot of room here, so I'm just going to do maybe 2 one way and 2 back the other way. If you want to go 5 one way and then 5 back the other way, you can do that as well. But they're both just as beneficial. So you can do several one way and come back, or just you can even just kind of step out and do one and step out and do the other. But the key is to make sure you're doing a proper squat to really get those gluteus muscles activated. So one of the big things I see with squats when I'm working with people is when they come down into a squat, first, they're coming down this way and bringing their knees way in front of their toes. They're going like this, and their booty's kind of staying in, and they're not really using those gluteus muscles. The other thing I see often, and sometimes I do this a little bit because I have some weakness, I come in this way. Now that's over exaggerated, but if your knees are collapsing in when you come down, then that's not a good sign either. You really want it to be kind of in a straight line through your hips, your knees, and your feet. So when you're going down, you really want to stick your booty out so your knees are not going in front of your toes. So I'm not bending my back, I'm bending at my hips, I'm hinging there, and that's what makes a good squat. So the band, again, is to help get the gluteus medius muscles activated as well as the gluteus maximus. So when you step out, you're starting the squat as you step out. So it's not step, then squat. I'm squatting as I step out, and then I'm squatting back the other way. So again, I don't have a lot of room here to go back and forth, but if you just want to do 5 one way and then 5 come back, you can. But I would maybe just start with 5, and if you feel like this is too much, like your knees are maybe coming in, then try it without the band first, because you really want to have that good technique when you're doing the squat. That's what's going to make those muscles work correctly. So then the last one is going to be a sumo squat. And so a sumo squat is kind of like it sounds when you see the sumo people getting ready for their fight. So this one is going to be a little bit different than a normal squat, but it's really what we would call maybe even a baby squat. When you're a baby, you squat perfectly. I don't know what changes over time, but when you're coming down, you're coming with your bottom all the way down into that squat. My feet are gonna be slightly outwards versus straight forward, which is what we normally do. And I'm just bringing my whole body straight down and coming back up. So some people like to use a little bit of weight. I wouldn't, again, do that to start off with. I'm gonna do it at a little bit of an angle so you can see, but I'm really just almost like if I was picking something up from the floor and then coming up and then setting it back down. So if I had a weight, it would be on the floor. I'd pick it up, come up, and then put it back down. And so again, since this is working the muscles a lot, working them slightly differently, I'd just start off with 5 and then kind of work your way up from there. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 gluteus strengthening exercises. If you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.